2, 3, 4. I have 4 puppies out here right now. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy? Oh, there's the 5th. Hi, Lana. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, guys. It is June 5th, 2022, zone 5B. It's been a while, but let's check out the garden this year. Starting in the front, I've got 2 big pots here of blueberries and raspberries just planted this year. The raspberries have totally taken off. This thing is tripled or quadrupled since I planted it. And we've gotten some raspberries already forming. These berries are meant to be in a pot, so they should thrive really well in this zone and produce lots of berries. Blueberries, on the other hand, are kind of slow to take off. They took a little bit longer, but they are producing some flowers, and I finally have seen some bees in the area. So it looks like we're finally getting some blueberry action in here. Wow, look at that color. This blueberry bush is by Bushel and Berry, and it is a peach sorbet variety. Never tried it before, not sure what it's going to taste like, super excited, and that's why it probably doesn't look like a traditional blueberry. But it's gorgeous. And then on both sides, in shepherd's hooks, I have strawberries. So far, we've gotten a lot of fresh berries and flowers forming. And a handful of strawberries I've been able to get off so far. I have to say, these are the sweetest strawberries I've maybe ever had when you get a really nice ripe one. This is like the 5th I've had this year, but I'm just gonna give it a go for you. We did have rain recently, so it's not as sweet as it usually is because it's been filled with water, but still very good. Okay, so let's move into the garden bed. Here on the side, we have rosemary, lavender, which hasn't started forming any blooms yet. We'll see. I don't know if it's getting enough sun here. It's definitely being crowded out by the cucumber here, which I didn't expect, but we'll see how it goes. And then basil, of course. What garden is complete without basil? It's so fresh and fragrant. I wish you could smell it. And then over here we have chamomile. Totally bushing out right now, but no stems with flowers quite yet. Speaking of flowers, first zinnia has bloomed. Check that out. I've never grown zinnia before. I grew these from seed, so extra proud how tall and sturdy that is. And this one in the back is coming. Super cool. And these specific zinnias are called cut and come again zinnias. They're supposed to be an array of different colors, but that way when it blooms, if you cut it off, more blooms will be produced. And so really you can cut it all season long, make bouquets for yourself once they've started blooming. And the more you cut, the more you get. So this should be blooming all the way until September, October, till the freeze, which is super exciting. We'll see how that goes. I know it's going to get huge, but it's kind of what I want, a wild garden. And in the back row here, I've got all of my tomatoes. Let's take a closer look. So this tomato plant here, I've grown from seed. It is a purple Cherokee. Nice, big and strong, no flowers yet. And then if we come back here, this one is called the Chocolate Sprinkles. It is shooting up super quick. And I do have a couple flowers forming on here. And because we haven't had any pollinators yet this year, it's still early, I feel like. I haven't really been getting any germination. Oh, here we go. I guess I got one. My first tomato. How cute. And then here is another Cherokee Purple, grown from seed. This one, on the other hand, does have a bloom. Just one big one. And last but not least on this side is a sun sugar. Some orange and yellow tomatoes will come out of this one. Cherry, of course. And this one actually has a lot of flowers. So we'll see if they set fruit. And on the right side of the garden bed, it mirrors the left side. So here is some more zinnias, a little slower behind, but they're coming up quick. Another chamomile, which is actually way further along than the other one. I could tell this one's going to start putting off some flowers soon. And then another lavender and rosemary. And these are doing a little better because they have not been blocked by this shade yet. So we'll see. Well, let's move into the inside of the bed. On this side here, I've got Sugar Baby Watermelon, a smaller watermelon variety. It's just starting to take off here. This one took off a little earlier. I started this one from seed and realized I might need a little bit more to cover this trellis, so I added a few. Yeah, and they're gonna grow up here. I'll just kind of train it to grow up the side until it starts getting those tendrils to hold on itself. And my hope is that it's gonna go all the way up the side of the trellis and hang over with some watermelons. Let's pause for Dad and the pups. All right, on this side of the trellis, I have cucumbers. This is two different ones, Market More and Silver Slicer. And they are on their way, climbing up the side of this trellis. You know, it feels slow going at first, but then it really just took off. And now I'm like, wow, it's almost halfway up the trellis. And I don't know how far it's gonna last in the summer if it keeps going at this rate, which I'm happy about, but so far, I don't think any have pollinated yet. I've got a couple that have dried up and are going to fall off here. I have not seen very many bees this year. It's making me a little nervous. Obviously, I'm in a new location, so I don't know how things are going to grow here in the sunlight and pollinators. So everything's kind of a test, and we'll just see how it goes. And in the inside of the bed, I've got one pepper plant. It was the only pepper seed to germinate, and I figured since I didn't have a lot of room, we'd leave it at one. It is an ancho pepper plant, so we'll see how it goes. And then over here we've got Big Mama. So far my pride and joy. One zucchini seed creates this giant zucchini plant. I've already been trimming it up, trying to keep it clean and neat in order not to affect everything else, and to keep good airflow. But if we look inside, I've gotten a few female flowers, but they haven't been pollinated yet. There were no male flowers open at the same time, so this is going to kind of die off. No fruit yet. Plenty of flowers to come. And I got a little one over here that hopefully will get pollinated soon and I'll actually have my first fruit. But man, this thing got way bigger than I expected, so I'm glad I put it smack in the middle.
Good morning.
And while I've got you here, let me show you another of my gardening spaces. My houseplant collection. Hey, sweetie. Miss Mario is getting another cat show.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I could run a piece all the way along there, but she can walk along the
Oh yeah, she
windowsill
comes everywhere.
probably.
And it is completed. Thanks, Dan. Indoor house plants and one of my other favorite spaces called the clubhouse. Nice morning place to sit, have your coffee, and it looks over the garden. So yes, thank you for coming along with me today, exploring my garden a little bit. This is the first garden bed I've ever grown in, so I'm super excited to see how that affects the plants and how much bigger they're able to get when they have more root space. And it's also the first year I'm using horse manure as my fertilizer. So a whole lot of things to explore this year. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about gardening through my third ever garden, first time in a garden bed. And yeah, thank you for coming along with me today.